Hello, Happy New Year. I'm so glad to be sharing this, be recording this, sharing this, getting this out to people today. Mostly because it's been several weeks in the making. There have been some attempts, there have been some life things that have come up, which I'll share. I think it can be useful to know the reality of things behind the scenes, how life comes up. And we might have goals. We might have deadlines, even self-imposed ones. We might have ideas and visions about how things are supposed to go, how we want them to go. And the fact is, life doesn't work that way. And the world around us does not always operate with our vision in mind. So we have to roll with it and we have to be gentle with ourselves. It's helpful to be gentle with ourselves and gracious for the fact that maybe it wasn't the right time, maybe it wasn't supposed to happen that way. We can't always see all the moving parts and all the reasons why, and we can still trust that this is just what's happening right now. It's not an easy thing to do. I did record a video on December 21st. It was perfect. It was the winter solstice. It was the change of season. And that's the purpose of what has been coming out recently is this movement through the seasons. Well, there were technology issues I encountered, and it really was not in a form that I could post and put out to everyone. So that got scrapped and time took over. It was the holiday weeks. It was very busy. There was a lot going on. It was really virtually impossible to carve out what I would have wanted to in a way that I would have wanted to. And it got paused because of that. It had to get put on the back burner. I got sick. Everyone in my house got sick. Priorities of all kinds took over. So here I am, mid-January, and I'm still committed and dedicated to getting this out there. I have a lot of material I want to put out there. Just wanted to share that because it's real and because I think we often find ourselves in these scenarios where we want so desperately to do something or to make something happen, and it's just not the time. It's just not feasible. And what do we do with that? So I moved through that as best I could. I still knew that this was going to happen and it just needed to come to pass. So here we are. And Happy New Year. And I'm glad to finally be getting this to you. So, a few things. I wanted to follow up on the fall theme and moving into of deep introspection time, what that brought up for many people, what the theme of that was for people that I spoke to and heard from, also for myself and experiencing this along with everyone. With that deep introspection, really emerged a lot of opportunity for purging old wounds. And some of that meant in generational patterns that have existed before we were born, ancestral patterns that people got an opportunity, they got exposed to, and they got visibility to, and had the opportunity, therefore, to do some work with them. A lot of this from the people I spoke to, this is anecdotal, happened knowingly. They were aware that some of this was going on or that this is what was coming up. And several people, this is what came to pass, and yet they weren't necessarily so aware that that's what was happening. And yet they were having to deal with family members, a lot of parent-child relationship dynamics that needed resolution or situations that needed resolution. And it really unlocked and purged a lot of heaviness, a lot of density, a lot of things that people were carrying around that we're certainly no longer serving anyone, and we're taking up space that needed to be freed up. And so it's been really interesting and kind of cool to see this pattern with so many people. There's no coincidence there. I don't believe in coincidences anymore anyway, but there's certainly no coincidence when so many people are quite literally and sometimes almost verbatim saying the same thing. It's really fascinating. So I wanted to share that. I would love to hear from anybody who experienced similar things, or something different too, or something in line with this, but in your own way. I love to hear these stories. I love to get some community going and sharing information so that everyone can feel supported. People don't feel alone in the sense of creating space in that openness that comes to pass. What has been coming up most in the new season and moving into winter and the colder months here in New England, most places maybe, is that um, a rebirth is possible now, and that transformation is possible, that new things can come up and come into the world, and we can get transformed, we can be reborn, or parts of us can, or creative endeavors, particularly, uh, can really become part of the world and come through us in some kind of way, whether it's writing or art, creating anything really can qualify for this. And so this has been what's starting to become more apparent in what I'm experiencing, what I'm hearing from other people. Everyone is really having some kind of transformational experience, no matter how subtle or or not it may be. And it really matters not in terms of that. It's all important, it's all vital, it's all relevant. It's really cool to hear those stories. This is an exciting time, and I would love for people to share more of that. This is what it's all been for. We have worked so hard, and so many people have worked through things and um, just persevered through things. And this is why, because we are emerging as something fresh and new. So, in the spirit of this transformation, part of what I have encountered is this very clear path and need for some new material. I am going to be launching a new website. I am going to have new contact information, and it's going to line up with other things that I've started to create, such as this channel. And I really want an open forum here to be able to bring to as many people as possible who are willing to listen and hear it, whatever is most beneficial and helpful to create the best experience we possibly can. I know how possible that really is. I know even when it seems that there's no hope or that's not an option or a possibility for us, there is always a pathway to find, and helping anybody figure that out and navigate that feels really important to me. That's what drives me and is an underlying purpose that I have in what I do and the work I do and what I share. I have a book that is being birthed as we speak and is going to be coming out into the world probably this year, but very soon in the next year and a half. And it's just there's so much coming out. So it's important to really tap into knowing if this creative energy is welling up in you and figuring out how to find outlets for it. So writing things down, trusting ideas, nothing is silly, nothing is inconsequential. It's all building something, whether that's the thing that comes out or it leads you to something really important to share with others. It could just be with the people around you. It could be with the world at large. It really doesn't matter. It's that you're listening and hearing this inspirational voice, this creative voice inside you that needs to get heard, that needs to come out into the world in some way. It's really important for our health and our wellness as well. I think we underestimate that, or we don't feel like we are creative or artistic. You don't have to be an artist. You don't have to be a writer. It could come in so many different forms. It could feed into the work that you already do or the job that you already have. There are so many ways to bring this out. It's ideas, it's sharing, it's inspiration, it's motivational. Whatever that means to you, whatever that looks like in your life, trust it, honor it, and share it with others. So that's where we're at right now. That's as much as I have to share at this moment. Lots of new things. Keep an eye out for all the new information with the new website and contact information. I'll be sharing as much as I can on other platforms as well. But I would love to hear from people. I would love for everyone to be sharing with each other. I know how crucial that is, and I know how that never happens by mistake. So whoever's finding themselves in the same space, whether it's physical space at a workshop or a class, or whether it's in this virtual space, it's all for a reason. You're meant to be sharing something with someone else. I know when I bring people together for a class or a workshop, it really, other than bringing people together, it has nothing to do with what I'm sharing. Everyone in the room is supposed to be there together, and people are supposed to be learning from each other. So if I can create a space to do that, I am more than happy to share your story, share your ideas, share your feedback. We would love to hear it. It always benefits somebody. So I look forward to connecting with all of you in the year to come, and drop me a line. Okay, take care.